Audio check, audio check. Audio check, audio check. How we doing out there, my family? It is Sunday. Is it dinner time? Or is it sleeping time? How is it going out there? Audio check. Good afternoon, my family. My apology. I do believe I'm late.
Love you and
in the studio.
Wish you that you press you doing what you want to do. Baby, I love you and I wish you that you press you doing what you want to do.
Yes, good afternoon, my family. Good afternoon. My apologies for being late. You know, it's a custom to be in the studio early in order to make good and proper preparation in order for us to have a good evening. And it being our dinner time, everything should have been seasoned, cooked. If it's curry or if it's baked, as in chicken in the oven, whatever. But it's almost dinner time. It's after 4 o'clock. I'm running a little bit late, and as I said, I do apologize for so doing. Again, I've been checking as to my guests as they're going to be here. So firstly, I already have an apology for you. Jammers has already indicated that he's got something doing. He hadn't given me notice again. The other arrangement hadn't been made. I've also nonetheless spoken with Graham, so I'm hoping that he's going to be able to join me in the studio. So whilst I settle in and play a few tracks for yourselves, I will make the contact and to make sure that it's going to take place. Yeah, but I'm trusting that you've had a fantastic week nonetheless, and that you know, if you are in the kitchen, that your food is well seasoned and flavored. If you already had dinner, then I'm hoping there that obviously it's been satisfying and it will go some way to energize you for the week's challenges ahead. But all being said, I have also forgotten my music, which I'd ordinarily be playing, but I think you would have gathered that I'm not at all organized, and that was in part of the reason why I was looking forward to Jammers being here, because he's already familiar. So we were gonna be talking around several things, including our good brother Dougie's event coming up. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna be asking of you to bear with me, and as I share my tribulation with you, yeah, do enjoy. Yes. Good evening, good afternoon. Or is it good afternoon, good evening? Whichever. My family, greetings to you, the listeners out there. My manners, my respect. Another week has find us back in this studio. It has been quite an eventful week for myself. So aside from me having to make another apology so far as my lateness, albeit it's only 10 minutes or so, but I'm adjusting myself to this earlier routine. Yeah, and short as it may be, I know whilst I'm in the studio and we set about talking, the time is going to fly. Now, insofar as today is concerned, I've got some goodies for yourself, so it makes your while phoning in. As you're aware, last week I had Ras Iron Kunta Tafari that was in the studio, and he had left me the words of good. So I've got a number of books, The Awakening, as well as the Enlightenment, which is volume 2. But I do have more of The Awakening, which was the first copy to which I had got my hands on. And I think in most cases we do need to start things from in the beginning. Yeah, so we've got the words of good, courtesy of my good brother, available for yourself to obtain by you phoning in, and we'll then make the arrangement for the collection of that, or whether I will bring it or meet with you and greet you in order for you to have these words of wisdom in your hands. Now, it's been quite a busy week and I've rushed away from. There's been so much has been happening, particularly around the Windrush generation, the injustice, and the continual failing of the system to address this ongoing hostile environment. And I do hope that this afternoon that I will have Graham Burke in the studio. We're not going to be talking about the Windrush because for Graham I know that is very painful, and for those you who are out there listening as to who Graham is, Graham Burke is the son of Joy Gardner. Joy Gardner being the person who, when it comes to an hostile environment, you cannot imagine the hostility that she met in the way to which she was taken out, we have to say, in the effort to try and get her or to deport her, as to how she was bound by those 13 feet of tape, if I remember what Mum had said, gagged. And yeah, I can't even talk about that. It's just been so painful. So I'm not at all surprised where we are today, given the examples that had been set all those years ago. Yeah, so there's so much injustice to which we are presently facing, and we will be facing until we take a stand and to say enough is enough. Yeah, and it's a collective effort on all our part, because I know, and I can cite my own example. If we're not careful, we think that we are all right. Well, not we are all right, but I am all right. But the reality is that it's about I and I, as my brother Ian would have said last week. So it's about the collective, which is we. It's not me, but we have to right the situation and turn it round so that it is us, we. Yeah, so that's where we are presently, my family. So as I settle, let I just say to yourself, great uprising, my family. Oh, Nado. I hope obviously all is well. Again, I'm hoping that you do miss me, and I must say salute, yeah, to those my listeners, because I've come to realize that here there is a void that was missing, and I'm seeing the response by the take up of viewers on the YouTube replays, and those obviously who are presently with myself now listening. Yeah. So I must pay my respect to those who had made the sacrifices previously in order to enable me to have this opportunity. So to my ancestors on whose shoulders I do stand, my salute to you. And again, you, the listeners out there, some of you are and may not be aware that I am associated with the Thousand Drum Ancestral Salute, and it is my intention to continue to see that achieved or for that number to grow. To be honest with you, I contemplated about bringing a drum into the studio so I could teach you the standard, the basic beat, which is a unity beat, which is where I started. Yeah, because I am no, what do you say, expert or master drummer, if that is the proper word. Yeah, I am very much on that journey where I am learning, and I'm happy to share some of what I have learned with yourself. And I think over our journey as well, to be able to get some master drummers just to come in and to probably just show us some techniques, yeah, that will improve our awareness and confidence in order to demonstrate and to add to the orchestra. Because again, my brother jammers who are still being in the studio, we've got a number of events out there which drummers are requested or required. And I must say, I believe next week that there is a sport event which is taking place over Battersea Park, which I had attended previously, and that is in associated with my brother Minka. And again, Minka and Graham, we go back so far insofar as the injustice around this Windrush generation and the trauma to which we've been subjected to. Yeah. So yeah, there are a few things which are already in the pipeline. Yeah. So insofar as where we are at as a family, as a community, I must salute the generals out there, who continue to weather the storm despite whether it's lacks of funds or our own inability to realize that our backs are against the wall. Yeah, so it is a challenge for all of us to get to the point where we've had enough and ready to take a stand. Yeah, so my question is are you not fed up? Are you not at the end of your tether? Yeah, I have watched and I've seen so much things happening. I've seen the situation, I think it was in Spain, with our fellow brothers and sisters as to the hostility, how we've been treated. Again, I've seen a situation in Jamaica where a family, I think of four, and the stabbing that resulted out of, and the excuses or the reasons that was given as towards why these things are happening. But I think in Jamaica presently, they are also at the end of their tether with the amount of killings that has been ongoing. So to a certain extent, I think Muta may well be looking at things and saying he's like him jump out a frying pan right back in a fire, And there was, I think there was a debate I was listening to on the cutting edge where there are a number of residents out there who are asking of him to put himself forward politically, and the fact that he see that as a challenge, because I think the brother was suggesting that he either join the PNP or the GLP. Yeah, I don't know why, but when these things come, I just start laugh, But yeah, I'm smiling because I'm just seeing a text to say, Graham is on his way. Yeah, so yeah, that just lift up my spirit. Yeah, so what go on when I chat about? Yeah, what's in the pot? What's on the fire? Yeah, as you know, I like a bit of humor around my show. Yeah, so what's cooking? Are the kids deserving of a hearty meal? What is in the pot? Or is it pot a cook and food no enough? So yeah, I must pay my respect to management as well as the fellow presenters on blessradio1.com. Again, for the engineers for making this platform available and to enable me to be able to engage with yourselves out there. I'm hoping that you've availed yourself and is prepared to have a conversation. And for that reason, I'd like to give you this number because I'd like for you to have the opportunity to win a copy of the books courtesy of my good brother Ian. And I myself, as I said last week, I have some t-shirts which I'd like to make available to you. One of the connections I'd made obviously with Muta made it that I've got an open invitation to phone in, and I will be able to, looking forward to phoning in on Cutting Edge at some point, because I've got about 100 of these t-shirts already in Jamaica, because it was my intention to make them available down there. Some of my family relatives, they were saying they're not affordable, but nonetheless I've still got a suitcase with them down there, so I'll have to devise a way as to how it's going to be made available to the community down there. But without a doubt, they themselves are at the end of their tether. Yeah, they're fed up. They're saying enough is enough. And whether we want to look on it from the standpoint of the discontentment that the population is feeling towards our government administration, particularly our leader that is sold us out. And I'm saying us out because I'm of the Windrush generation, but me Anya, but me never born ya. Okay, I was born in Jamaica. I've been here now over 52 years, and as much as I miss home, I'm really disappointed. And I'm saying this because I do believe that I've got listeners now who are over and throughout the islands, and more particularly in my community. So on that note, I'd like to salute my brother Butcher, Barry Dread, Annette, who's it? Cancer. There's so many within the community, but these are the ones who come to the forefront. My family, Steve, yeah, Noah's, you know. There's so many, and those of the ones who have departed and joined the ancestors' realm, you know, like Mr. Daly, Mr. McPherson, you know, I can think about Cabra. It's you know, but yeah, the journey continues, and long may it do so. Yeah, and whilst I'm there trying to build up some strength, I need to, because my sister Sasha, she's been on my mind all week. In the last 2 weeks, I've not had any further info on. So to my sister Sasha, our warrior queen, I ask you to be strengthened, and that you continue the fight. Yeah, because ways are not for the swift. Yeah, so do continue, my sister, you know, my daughter, my family. You know, don't give up. Our drums continue to beat for you. Yeah, you know, our hearts are with you. Yeah, so we look forward to your recovery in order for us to engage, to meet, greet, and to embrace. So more love, more strength to the family overall. Yeah, for your endurance. Yeah, I mean, there's certain situations to which we don't have no choice, but nonetheless, yeah, we know that there is a God, there is a Creator. Yeah, and in Him we put our trust, our hopes. Yeah. Again, to my fellow drummers, Sangoma Drummers Group, wishing them more strength, yeah, more healing, yeah, and more powers to your elbow in what it is that you're doing, yeah. And with all being said, I don't even think I've met up with you this week, which is somewhat unusual, yeah. But things are where they are. Insofar as our community and the healing that continues, yeah, I wish you Godspeed, yeah, and let me play another tune, because My brother calls. Yeah. So bless up. Just bear with me a moment. I'm coming.
Is from Nigeria, and Lolo is from Kenya. They are both from the gates of Africa, living in America. Like
Yes, yes, back again, my family. Yeah, respect. I say that those two tracks were courtesy of none other than our brother Winston Sugarcane Fergus. Now, I think this CD was handed to me. I think actually this was about 4 weeks back. Well, no, it's gonna be more than that. I believe I got this CD. It was handed or put in my hands from when we was at the Child Q protest outside, would have been Stokenington police station. Yeah, so I've had this CD for some time, and it's been in my little case, briefcase, and yeah, it for whatever reason jumped out at me this afternoon. So I've shared that with you. So I'm hoping that you are appreciative of it, and say salute again, therefore, then to brother Winston Fergus. Now, obviously, I can see that as we've journeyed, we matured, and yeah, things somewhat have gone full circle, and we're still crying out for this unity amongst ourselves. Yeah, yeah. I've had a call from Graham, so I know he's en route, on his way. I'm hoping to see management in the meantime, because when it comes to guests in the studio, yeah, I need confirmation, because it's one thing putting it out as a request, but if to be serious, yeah, we need to be prompt. And again, even myself weren't prompt this week. Yeah, but yeah, before Graham touch base, let me sign on with you, customary in the way I've done previously, by sharing the good word, or the words of good, from the volume 2 Enlightenment. And what I'd like to share with you this week, my family, is these words. What brings people together is history, culture, geography, social associations, economic interest, and sharing infirmatives or benefits in common. Yeah, I'll repeat. What brings people together is our history, culture, geography, social associations, economic interest, and sharing infirmities or benefits in common. So I am making the assumption that certainly we will agree, if not on all, but on the majority of things. Yeah, and what is said on the opposite page, it being so short and brief, I will add it to benefits in common. And what it says is put one's private capital into use. So what is private to you must be put into use, either to be of benefit to yourself personally or to the community as a whole. But it's more rewarding if it's put to the community use, and no doubt if you've got enough of it, then it becomes immaterial, because as it is with those who really have it, you notice that wherever they go, they don't seem to have to pay their way. Yeah, because people like now to rub shoulders with them, and to be honest, give them more things. Yeah, it's a real strange one, though, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, that's the words for today, to which we've started with. Now, our topic today, I'm going to be talking or having this conversation with Graham about some stuff which is merchandising. That's aside from the music, to which I know he does, but I know he's got some items similar to like myself. But when he does join us, I'd like for him to expand and to speak on those things himself. Yeah, I'm going to be sticking more or less to the same program as was before. In the last couple of weeks I've been in the studio, so until we have the phone line and everything sorted out, I'm just basically going to be sticking to the same format, which is looking at the love, the unity, the events, past and future. And again, I'll touch on the T-shirts, the Thousand Drums, and look at sponsors. The other thing which is really of concern to myself evolves around the allotment. I think I'd shared with you last week, or probably even the week before, that I'd recently taken on an allotment within the Bontigue group, intended to make sure it remains within the community and the communities to access it. Now, I've kind of, to a certain extent, come to a standstill on that because it's like they want to reinvent the wheel in giving me full responsibility to the extent that I have now got to put a proposal together. Some of you will say, well, what's wrong with a proposal? Well, what is wrong with a proposal is if there's a proposal there in the first place that has been approved, why not carry it through, particularly when you've got somebody who's happy to assist in order to make sure that is done. Yeah, I don't really think it fair, right, that I should be putting in a proposal, because ultimately it means that responsibility is on me first and foremost. Yeah, as it is, I've come in to assist and to make sure that burden of responsibility is divided up amongst ourselves, so I don't have no conflict of interest. Yeah, so that basically is a point that I'd like to make. And whilst I'm on the Bontigue, I'd like to invite those of you who live within that Bontigue area to become volunteers or to become members, and also to be able to put yourself forward in order that you can also become partners. Yeah, because when you live in a particular area, you can't divorce yourself from unless you move out. Yeah, so let me encourage you, my community, to put yourself forward, because certainly we need help in order for us to help ourselves as a collective, because there are those who are not from within, and therefore they can divorce themselves by just walking away. Yeah, to a certain extent, it's just unfortunate. These are the people who sap your resources, yeah, and see these opportunities more so as a cash cow. Yeah, so I don't support things like that for that reason. Yeah, so I'm asking you to engage yourself, empower yourself, and to have an eye, keep an eye, scrutinize where possible, and make sure that we can help hold the people to account, yeah, whenever possible, so that we know whatever is taking place. And the reason why we need the volunteers or the members and the numbers is to enable us to cover all of our bases. It is essential, otherwise we will spread ourselves too thinly, which then defeats the whole object of what we need to do insofar as a community. So for those of you out there, my listeners, please, I'm asking of yourselves, yeah, to help us in order to help the community, which means that we will help each other, the extended family. Okay? Now, yeah, I would like to bring to your attention, if it is again that you have got something under fire, make sure you keep a keen eye on it. Yeah? So that relates to our community. We've got to look at the love of family, community, love of humanity, the signs which is traumatizing us within our community, the ongoing deaths, whether it's here, abroad in the sense of Jamaica, that is of concern, that is making our backs against the wall more and more obvious. Yeah, I posted, I saw, what do you say, a WhatsApp, and I myself posted it without making any additional to it, and I was reprimanded for simply because there was a bit of I don't, how do you say, foul language, because no language is foul, because for some people that's what excites them. But in this case, I just take note and I do respond. But what this brother was saying, and I totally agree, relates to the cockpit country in Jamaica, which it would appear is that the government is trying to do a deal, or they've done a deal in secret. Yeah, but I don't know if it is that they're blind to the history, which is our history, insofar as the Maroons, that they would want to, what do you say, stir up the ants nest. Yeah, which I have to thank him if that is the case, because our backs being against the wall, I'm now dependent on the Maroons now to rise up. Yeah, within my community, and if at all possible, in unity, in order to put this thing once and for all to bed. Yeah, because I don't know what it is and how it is that the island, which was one that we could brag and boast about insofar as what we stand for, insofar as fighting injustices, are suddenly keeled over, and they've used the COVID as a cover in order to do so, because they called a snap election, which was like a COVID election. They got themselves a majority, even though less than 50% of the community voted them in, and they've taken it as a means to give themselves the power, and now they're seeking the glory. Yeah, so I would like for you out there, because eventually you yourselves are over there, will get wind of what it is that we are presently feeling over here insofar as our concern. Yeah, and we're dependent on you, yeah, to take a stand so that we can regain the standing to which we as an island once had. Yeah, it's demonstrated presently, no doubt, in the fact that we had the fastest man and woman on the planet, and that's not by accident. It must be something either in the genes or in the environment. So if our environment is so unpolluted and so giving to bless us with such eminent peoples within our communities, that our flag flies high throughout the world, why is it that our government don't seem to realize that water is more precious than bauxite, more precious than oil, more precious than even silver and gold? Simple reason that none of those things aside from water can quench your thirst, and it's not filling to the belly. Everything else is an illusion and a material evaluation by so-called science or man. Yeah, so I'm asking of you, my community, my family, my African family, yeah, we need to smell the coffee, yeah, and see what it is Western society is trying to do to us, and our gullible representations insofar as politicians, as to how they're selling us out. And again, in saying that, it takes me back to what is the situation presently happening in Rwanda. Yeah, that reminds me as to how Australia came about to be, what you say, a Western or a European nations. Not that I'm discriminating in any way, because the hurt is along the fullness thereof. Yeah, we are all one, humanity, human beings. Yeah, but nonetheless, yeah, as you know, in most animals, you've got the birds and then you've got the jungros. Yeah, you understand? So, yeah, I can't condone in any way what it is that Western society is impacting on us. And we know historically Australia came about because they send the convicts down there, and these convicts, obviously, they are people who are they are not of that, would you say, for harmonious society. I can't even describe them. Yeah, but I'm afraid that one day is going to become a place where they send all their convicts. Yeah, now immediately you'd think that they're just going to be sending African people back there. Yeah, but you be mindful as to how South Africa, Australia, and other places, how it was overpopulated. Yeah, because what they do is they cull. Yeah? they sterilize us and then enable their own population to grow. Yeah, so that's just me waffling on a little bit, my family. So you have to bear and forgive me for so doing. But oftentimes these things are so painful to see, that you have to vent them. Yeah. So I'm hoping that it will stir you to a certain extent to want to have a conversation, whether it's on the Windrush, whether it's on that deplorable situation which had transpired in Jamaica, what is presently happening in Rwanda, or even the hostile environment. Yeah, I've got an open here. Yeah, so the number is 079 444 31366. Yeah, so please do make use of the phone line and let us see as to whether you are going to be able to get some of the prizes to which we have. And I think that's the other thing that I intend to do. I'll be going through the course of the week to try and get, whether it's books and things that I can afford as prizes, so it's worth your while phoning in to us. Yeah. So more love and more spirit.
Streets in a strange world. Maybe it's a third world. Maybe it's first time around. Doesn't speak languages. Oh no currency. He's a foreigner. He was surrounded by the sun. Gathered in the marketplace. Scattered in the orphanage. He looks around, he sees angels in the architecture, spinning and spinning pieces. Hallelujah, if you be my bodyguard, I can be alone.
Don't be afraid of me, I only want you to dance.
Family. Yeah, I'm still waiting now. I'm getting a little bit concerned because I thought my brother was downstairs. Yeah, but it appears not to be the case. Yeah, so yeah, as things unfold. Yeah, I gave you the number. Yeah, phone is here waiting, and I know that obviously that there are concerns which are out there presently, and it's an international concern because we're not in any way unique, or nothing is exclusive to us. We're not immune, yeah, because it would appear there's a scourge up and down the country as well as throughout the world. And another thing which came to mind whilst I was coming, it is a situation whereby when I think back, in all the years of being in this country, that never has fear been so much placed at the forefront of everything that we're having to go, even say live through. I'm trying to understand it. The stress that we've been subjected through or subjected to, yeah, by a government throughout the world. It seems like there is just one government, yeah, and there's only one agenda. Yeah, myself have come to realize that it's as though there is only one political party throughout the world, and those that raise their head and want to be indifferent, they are isolated or eliminated. Yeah, that's what I've come to realize, and for that reason, I'd say I think this local election previously just gone is the first time I've never actually contested. That's how disillusioned I am, and us having been through almost every single one of them. I can't understand it. Yeah, but nonetheless, I'm looking forward to my guest being in the studio because that will then prevent me from just keep rabbiting on about these things which is causing me pain, and more pain, and as much as I do understand the natural mystic which is blowing, in the air, round and about, and I can't accept it, and I do understand it, but I just can't. I just can't.
One and all got to say, though I try to find the answer to all the questions they ask, though I know it's impossible, only through my past to keep them down. There's a natural mystic blowing through the air. There's a natural mystic blowing through the air. If you listen carefully, now you will hear. This could be the first trumpet, might as well be the last. Many more will have to die, many more will have to cry. Don't ask me why. Things are not the way they used to be. Don't tell the lie. One and all got to face reality now. So I try to find the answer to all the questions they ask. Though I know it's impossible to go living through my past. Don't ask me why. Things are not the way they used to be.
Yes, yes, yes. Back in the seat again. Yeah, so yeah, I've been just following up, finding out where G is at. So yeah, he's round the corner. So yeah, he will be with us at some point. Yeah. So yeah, the other thing was I saw police being put into special measures. Yeah, and that for me just goes to show as to why we really and truly can't trust them. Even though, like myself now as an adult, being responsible, sometimes you have to give the benefit of a doubt. Yeah, and I'm saying that because I have had a personal experience. Yeah, running in with them. Yeah, and I can share it with you. Like even myself, there's a case history that if you, I'm not even gonna say my name for this reason, but if you know my name, you can go and you can research it. Yeah, as to how and what they've done and manhandling me and all of those kind of things. So it's a tough one really to work with, but to see the police them under special measures, and not just the Met Police as well, yeah, but the other institutions up and down the country, yeah, that have been put into special measures for the reason that they've not been doing their service to the community, but they've been serving governments and institutions. And for those who have the age to see and can reflect on the what do you say, from the miners' strikes, and to see as to how the intent was set from then. You know, it's really no surprise. Yeah, it's no surprise. And another interesting thing that I've been making as an observation, yeah, and no disrespect to women out there, because we have to be really more and more protective of yourselves, you know, as men. But let me ask you now, what is it that you think about the way Boris always drag his wife? Yeah. Why is it? Well, to me, it looks very uncomfortable. Yeah, it really looks uncomfortable. So I don't know if you share those sentiments, but whenever time I see he takes hold of her hands, I think she needs to be rescued. Yeah, because he literally just drags her. Yeah, and maybe it's just my opinion, from my own observation. Yeah, but that's just the way it appears to me. Yeah, and this situation which is ongoing, which I didn't really want to touch on, this war. Yeah, I don't think we've engaged with it. We've just left them to get on with the situation, and I think it's best left that way, because at the beginning, I think my comment was that Russia has never really enslaved us. I don't think there's any part of history that I can recall reading about that they have persecuted us. As a matter of fact, all our freedom fighters, when it came to military training, they were the ones that always seemed to come to our aid and make offer of those kind of facilities. Yeah. So in so far as the situation with the war, please, my family, don't get embroiled in it, because the fallout of that may well be, yeah, as you see what transpired, the so-called refugees, there was an open door policy to enable them to come into this country. Yeah, and the next thing is they will now move them from here and take them to Rwanda. Then they recreate that situation as what happened in Australia and had previously happened in South Africa, Zimbabwe, or Rhodesia, and all of those, yeah, other islands. So they've got a scam to reverse and to make sure that they have that in their outcome. Yeah, particularly now that we're aware that there's untold amount of gold, yeah, in Uganda. Yeah, so when we see these things, we know war is always a consequence of their greed. Yeah, because they don't want for us to have these resources at our control, even though it's already there underneath our feet. They ain't got the means. Well, they have got the means because they've got the machinery. But prior to having the machinery, the manpower they didn't have, they enslaved us. So now they've got the manpower. They have worked out a scam to just nullify and get rid of us, and then they'll get the benefit off. Yeah. So these people, when I refer to them as drunkra, yeah, they are vultures, literally. Yeah, and the thing about it is they pollute the earth. They don't benefit the earth. Their interest really is outer space or under the sea. Yeah, they're always looking for an escape because their mind, or you can say their head not good. But that is just my opinion. Yeah. So as we continue to wait for our guest, who's gonna be in the studio, and I'm trusting now that, well, not everybody's meal is gonna be ready, but yeah, I hope you say grace. Yeah. I hope the meal has been worth the wait. And if it is that you're still waiting, then let's hope the waiting is not going to be for too much longer. Okay? So you will sit down as a family and enjoy. The other thing which I need to make mention, if you're able to see, I've changed my t-shirts. I've got a white t-shirt on. The cap that I have on my head also, that is available to yourselves, yeah, because I've not got exclusive rights to, but they're not the normal cap that you can just go down the road and get from any shops, yeah. Okay, right. So whilst here we're waiting, let me just go back and look at this event, because I've got an event, or we've got an event planned for the 23rd and the 24th of July, which is this month, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks time from now. And we've been putting on this event for the past 2 years. This make it the third year that we're putting on this event for our good brother Douglas Williams, who is responsible for me being in this hot seat presently in the studio with Bless FM. And we're trying to spread it out somewhat this year. I know there are some people out there which I've got reasons to I shouldn't even say argue with myself, but because it's not just about myself. And my struggle at the present is that I'm mindful of the fact that we need to balance this. Yeah, there's 4 men and we need to have 4 women. I've put 4 women there. We have to a certain extent, and we do need now to be having these meetings to discuss as to how events gonna run. But we've got what's her name, Sister Jetty. Oh God, I'm terrible when it comes to names. Yeah, but we've got stores that we've got delegated responsibility for. We've got music again, which we need to look at. We've got performers, which again we need to look at. Libation, all of these things. I've got numbers on the flyers, so please, can you be in communications with either myself, Supreme, Jammers? There's Griot Chineri, there's Empress Kalila and Kahindi. But admittedly, and I've had a conversation since week that they're saying, well, they don't know what it is that they're supposed to be doing, and we really do need to have this meeting. As far as I'm concerned, what we're supposed to be doing is what Brother Dougie would have us do. Yeah, it's not for me to dictate, it's for us to decide. But we know that the ability and the skill set is amongst us. But at the same time, the fact that your name is, say, on a flyer and you don't know what it's all about, you do know what it's all about, because this is the 3rd year that we're doing the event. Yeah, so for me it's quite strange for ones to be saying that they don't know. I don't know what it is that the leading role, because it's not a financial benefit as such that okay, we can say we shoulder certain responsibility insofar as the cost of putting the flyers out. Yeah, but we're not expecting of you to be putting your hands in your pocket. What we're asking is for you to utilize your skill set, your network, in order for us to come together for the benefit of our unity. And also on the Saturday we intend to fundraise in order to put a bench in the Chestnut Park, and where possible, if the family agree, to make a contribution towards our good brother's headstone. Yeah. Now, the ultimate gain from this is our unity in our actions as a collective. Yeah. So please, I'm asking of you, my family, yeah, don't put obstacles, yeah, of each other's individuals failing, because it may well be my failing, but I'm holding my arms out to us, yeah, all of us within our community to do what we would consider to be the right thing, as to what Brother Dougie would do. Yeah, because if I set about it and do it without your involvement, and if I invite everybody, it's going to be chaotic. Yeah, so I have identified, or we've identified, individuals who I myself, Jammers Supreme, are familiar with, being around our good brothers, and we've utilized those names, those contacts, in order for us to move forward and to make this those 2 dates run as smoothly as possible. I've also had a comment from Galactic, who is saying that it would appear that I've got, was it 3, what did he say, there's 3 events for one date or for one venue. Now, clarification on that, the venues that we're utilizing is the Chestnut Park and the Parkview Academy. The Parkview Academy is on the Saturday and the Chestnut Park is on the Sunday. Yeah, so if there's any confusion out there, again, if Jammers was in the studio today, we would have just resolved all of these things. So over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to have to iron out these problems or associated problems. And my number is also on the card, my family. So if there's any lapse, then please do phone. And, if you have to tell me off, my shoulders is broad enough. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. Yeah, it's about how we set about to achieve this love and unity within our community, and how forgiving also we can be in order to create this healing. Yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, so if there is any shortcomings which is on my part, yeah, I will always hold my hand up, because at the end of the day, the aims and the objectives are far more important than me as an individual. Yeah, I'm only a small fish in one big sea. Yeah, and I need for you or for us to understand that. Yeah, no man is an island and none can stand on their own. Yeah, my responsibility is to have you in here. Okay, right, I got the phone call again, so bear with me.
And I'll always be around. Oh, I'll never make you cry. I write myself a song. Get a whole world, sing along. I call it a love song for you. And who knows, it's like take a song from the Bible. And when I'm true, I know that God will understand me. God will understand me. Cause he give me the victory.
Victory is mine.
Let the people doubting. And boss can keep it out.
Yes, G's in the house.
I love him so.
I can start laugh and smile.
God is truly amazing. God is truly
Young man is in the house.
my God is
Not so young
truly
anymore, Those of you who have not physically seen it, Yeah. The young king is now a father. Yeah, he's got a son. I think the son must be about what, 7, 8, 9? 10. Outside. Hey? Hear that? It said 10, now it said 12. Yeah, so he's on the way to becoming a teenager.
I'm gonna take all the people to the morning. Gonna sit down beside my Savior. Sit down and wait till it's
God is good. Yeah, and it just goes to show you how things go by so quickly. Yeah, but yeah, family, I guess has arrived. The person which I've got in the studio, which I shared with you previously, is none other than Graham Burke. Graham Burke is the son of Joy Gardner. Yeah, one who the hostile environment has taken from us. Yeah, but what we're here to talk about today is the future and what a young warrior friend is going to say. My times. We're going to be looking at his things, where he's at, and how we can support his things to make his things. Some wristband. Yeah. No, that was a joke. Yeah. But yeah, the key thing is here with us in the studio. Yeah. And I hope when I heard most of that, because I just realized that the music was in the background or at the forefront of everything, yeah. But yeah, family, my guest has arrived. So in the studio I've got with me Graham Burke, who is Joy Gardner's son. He's got some merchandise, some items which evolves around My Things Is Different. I was gifted a cap and I know the impact of it, so that's why I can vouch for it, just as how I vouched for the book last week from Ras Iron Kunta Tafari last week. So this week I've got Graham in the studio. Again, coincidentally, we are making use of the said same space up there in Palmer's Green, because he's got in the pipeline as well some t-shirts, yeah, and t-shirt, wristband, caps, yeah. So we've got somewhere that you can actually access. But the key thing, like for myself, because myself and G, we go back, boy, it must be what, about 30 years plus now. Yeah, we've been on this journey, and it's high tide. Yeah, so where I may have certain laps, yeah, my brother, my son to a certain extent, because I can't say otherwise, because the journey was so long that he and my son, they were playing football with, was it Classford and Berkeley. Listen, this journey is just so long, man. And again, like how I've mentioned Minka is part of the extended family, as well as Ken, yeah, who was responsible for doing this film Injustice. Yeah, so yeah, there's just so much to talk about, and I'm already mindful of the fact that time is not in our favor, because I've already been in here an hour. Can you believe it? Yeah. So yeah, keep your ears peeled. Hear what the young man is has to say, and why is we should be buying his merchandise over all others, and what is the difference against the competition out there. Yeah. So yeah, let me just wheel back one and come back again. Yeah, come back again.
Jumping over the moon while the dish got tennis. He grabbed the hand with the spoon. It's just a moon. But I don't need it no longer. I don't want it no longer. I don't need it no longer. And I don't care.
Yes, how you feeling out there? Are you feeling blue? Yeah, as I was saying a little bit before, I'm a bit of a rebel, soul rebel. I've been on this journey, and it's not been easy. To be honest with you, at times it's been quite frustrating. Yeah, but what is paramount is that, we have to look at our monetary situation. Yeah, because we've been frustrated at best of times insofar as access, even to the very things that we have been gifted or blessed with underneath our feet, as the example had cited with the gold which had been discovered. But at the same time, gold isn't something that you can eat. Yeah, it's something to be utilized. The same as the skills that we have. Yeah, these are things which are to be utilized, and more so as a collective. And the reason why it has to be utilized as a collective is because we who had been original in this Garden of Eden have through fear neglected our responsibility, but in so saying fear we were just biding time. Yeah. But time is at hand now, because as Marcus said, we are not going to realize until our backs are against the wall. And what I am saying to you today is that our backs are against the wall. You don't need glasses to see the trials and the crosses, not just besetting us, but it's besetting the world. Yeah, because there's all situations now. Saying goes now, if you're on the vax, you're lucky. You understand? Because if you are vax, then it's like you now have the monkey flu. Yeah. But as I joke about it at times, one flew over the cuckoo nest. Yeah. And I say to myself sometimes, how is it that, like Jamaica, we have a time when we will have hurricane? Yeah. So how comes when we have a hurricane, everybody else don't have that? Yeah. But when them have this COVID thing, it a go take set on Freeway Island. That's so small. As soon as the breeze blow, yeah, it's supposed to pass. Yeah. Last week I remember I was saying that I wonder if Muta go put on back a mask when he go back to Jamaica. You understand? That's how much them a fool with. Yeah. And we allowing them to get away with it. Yeah. I don't know if it was this week or last week. There was something happening in the Marcus Garvey Park. Yeah, in Kingston. But I think again that was a bit of a rally around the killings of this family. Yeah, it's not just here, but everywhere. We're all saying enough is enough. So you can imagine how proud I am to be the one in the T-shirt. Yeah, that I've got also available to you in Jamaica. I know I've got a number of people out there already in the T-shirt, because I've got a whole suitcase down there. Yeah, because I could see what going. I came down there and I took my drums. You understand? Because I need to wake up. Yeah, on a need for wake up. Yeah, so in waking on a up, yeah, it's what we're gonna do in moving ourselves forward to address the issues round and about us. Yeah? So, yeah, let me invite G. Will you sit? And then we are going to come in upon this thing. So, we need everything to come in and liven up the thing. Yeah? Yeah, we've allowed ourselves to be manipulated. Yeah, so much so that we're either confused or we are embarrassed. Yeah, to face the fact that we were fooled. Yeah, but we don't necessarily have to allow it to continue. Yeah, any longer. Yeah. So yeah, you the listeners out there, my respect to you, whether you're here or you're abroad. Yeah, my salute goes as far as my brother Aladdin over there in Gambia. It's not that I'm avoiding you, my brother. It's just that there's been so much things that is happening. You know, I'd love to come over that side of the waters. You know, and I quite like Gambia, to be honest, because as soon as you go up, it's like the plane start to descend again. I think it's up max is about 6 hours, you know, which is quite nice. I hadn't even realized Africa was so close to to England, and it may well be the same also for Jamaica. Yeah, so it's really good to be experiencing the awakening in this time, you know, and in recognizing all that is happening around and about us. It's really encouraging, yeah, to see everything being brought to the forefront. Yeah, so prophecy is indeed, yeah, being fulfilled, and it's really encouraging. And again, as I was saying, it's really encouraging to have this young man in the studio with me today to be able to expand and let me know what's going on, you know. So yeah, all things being set aside, yeah, I stumbled on this CD which I'm going to be playing for you. Just testing. Yeah, this CD, it relates to you know, something. I have not seen this brother in over 52 years, but it was gifted to me probably as far back as about 5, 6, might even be more than that, years back. And this CD is called Day Breaks in Africa. It features a brother called Amadi, featuring also Opton Lindo. And this, to those of us who know, because I'm from a community up there in Landui, this is a brother that I knew as Boy Blue when I was growing up before I came to England. But I've never been fortunate to meet him when I'm back on the island, you know. But this is a music that I think, you know, should bring us into the conversation. Yeah, so manners and love, my family.
Yes, station, oh Mama Africa, come take my hand. Tonight when the stars shine again, night falls on Africa. So long since I have been gone. This side of Africa wants to come home. Place for me so long to be, as I call from distant sea. To you I make my affirmation. Oh Mama Africa, God bless your name. I wanna be a part of your reconstruction. Straight from the heart with strong ambition. Strength to strength, let us be one. Oh, big part of our love. Today the sun will rise again. Day breaks in Africa. the spell of separation be broken, and togetherness resoundingly spoken. Tonight the stars will shine. Night falls on Africa.
Yeah, so big up my brother, White Blue, no matter where you are in the world. Monday. Yeah, this is on Olmec Records. So, as I say, this goes back a number of years. You know what I'm saying? So, it's been in my possession, but never been played. But generally not in the public. We really need a break now. Really need a break right now. I am looking on the sleeve on the inside. It says actually 1999. Can you believe that? So that's what, 20 years old this track. Yeah? Yeah, so anyway, as I say, my guest is in the studio, and we're gonna now look as to where my brother is at. Yeah, I'm gonna look as to where our brother is at. So yeah, G, are you ready for wing? Okay. Right. Yeah, so we have our guest in the studio, Graham Burke. Yeah, so let the people know. By the way, let me first start. How is Nan? Because I ain't seen Nan.
Yeah, man, she alright, man.
She alright.
She got flu, she said.
She had flu.
I just come from checking her still.
Okay, so that means you weren't at church today.
I don't think so. But yeah, she's alright otherwise.
Okay. Alright, yeah, well, you know, it is, you know, it's summer. You know, I was having this conversation with you yesterday. You was telling me about going Bristol. And then in the end, you told me this morning, say you never go. Yeah, so we clearly didn't have the date or the timing on that one sorted.
Yeah, that was true, my brethren, innit? He got misinformation. There was something going on, but it was an indoor team, not outdoor. So we thought it was outdoor.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, the listeners are keen to find out what it is, you know, and the reason as to why I've brought you into the studio. And obviously, like I was saying, you've got this cap on your head there, which one might look on it as, say, is an ordinary cap. Yeah, but you've put your stamp on it. So tell us about your things.
The brand is called My Things Different, which is obviously self-explanatory, because my thing's different in terms of, you know, my struggle, my life experiences, my vision, and what I represent, you know, and also in relation to us as individuals, all our things are different. So everyone can relate to that in a sense, whereas you can say my thing's different because we've all got our own story, and no one's story is the same. It's, you know, each story is unique. My story is unique, your story is unique. So my thing's different is basically a representation of that.
Okay, well, I'm going to say the only thing that makes your things different is because of the association with yourself. Yeah. Okay. And I mean, I love the brand. Yeah. In the statement it makes. Yeah. But I'm still seeing the difference is the whole concept which you put behind it, which I know, like, obviously you do your music. Yeah. So what is it that you're going to do to enhance the brand, to give it that wider appeal to Joe public who is going to be looking or wishing to buy it? Yeah.
Well, obviously the internet, social media is obviously a big platform for anyone pushing out their brand, their products, their music. So social media, shops, local outlets. We've got them in a few. One in Stratford, called CD Bar, I believe, CD Baby. There's another one in Palmer's Green.
Yeah, well, that one I'm associated with. So, with the whole concept and the brand, is there intended to be a movement behind the brand itself that makes it different, or is it the different is just a statement? I mean, because I know yourself, I know it's not just a statement. Yeah, but why should we be buying your things?
Well, because like I said, my story is unique, and if you know who I am and my life experiences, then you'll know why my thing's different.
Yeah, but a lot of people, they know of you, yeah, but a lot of people who would know of you know you at the age of probably 5 and at best 10.
Big man.
Yeah, now G is a big man. And not only that, you've got a son that I'm thinking is 7, 8, 9, 10, and you tell me say he's 12.
Pushing 13 in August.
13 in August. You know what I'm saying? So clearly you're gonna be leaving a legacy, or you're gonna be creating some form of legacy that he's now gonna be inheriting, and he doesn't even know your life story.
Not fully, but
Yeah,
bits,
well,
but
it's like with a lot of the listeners out there right now, they don't know your story. Yeah, the hot thing out there presently right now is about the hostility around this Windrush, and you are the consequence of that hostility, and they don't understand it. You understand? But your things being different, as you've just said, is associated with the journey. Yeah, so it's just like I'm now looking at your things as like with my things. I'm saying enough is enough. Yeah, you're saying coming with your things, there's a history, there's already also a story, but the listeners and those who are going to be buying it might not even know as to all the things that has contributed for you to put this brand out there. Yeah, so what is it that you want to achieve
in terms of the brand
terms of the brand?
What I want to achieve is obviously the story behind my things different, getting out there basically. So
okay, so are you going to put that information on the website? Yeah,
well, yeah,
because obviously on the cap you're not going to be able to contain or to put all of that information. Yeah, other than you made that my things different, being different is a statement. Yeah, it is a statement, but people won't understand. I'm attractive to my things being different. Yeah, but my associated and knowledge of who produced that things, I'm informed because I've been around you over 30 years. So you don't have to tell me.
yeah,
But to tell the listeners and the people who are out there who don't know, yeah, they need to know what it is that they're buying into. The journey and the concept behind it, yeah, and ultimately at the end where they can get their hands on it. Yeah. So what it is that make your things
different? Well, like I said, my journey in itself is what makes my thing different. The fact that obviously I've got a talent, I've got a gift, which is music, which I've been doing for many years now. Obviously that's my vent, that's my ventilation, that's my way of communicating with the people. And yeah, it's a movement really. It's not just a statement. It's a movement. My thing's different.
okay? So what I'd like to do, because I mean it's the second time I've got you in the studio here. Yeah. So from the journey that you've been on. Why now? Why is it that you think it's necessary to push the item now? Is it the summer, or is it something that you've been doing and you've had a good response towards? Like I'm saying, I like it.
Well, yeah. Well, the season, obviously, which is summer, partly to do with it, and the fact that it's part of the merchandise, because obviously every artist has their own merchandise. So this is kind of like my movement, my merch, my branding, which goes with my art form, which is music. So
Music.
it goes hand in hand.
Hand in hand. Okay, so what is it that you've got out there at the moment on the music side, and what is it that you're in the studio creating?
Yeah, well, I've been in the studio working on a lot of different projects within the last few months, because I kind of took my foot off the gas to focus on this, developing it and having meetings and planning what we're gonna do and all that stuff. But yeah, I've got stuff on SoundCloud, YouTube. But I've got different. Some of the material's older. A lot of it needs updating. On SoundCloud it's IMG, so I-M-G space rapper on the SoundCloud. YouTube G Mansa GEE space MANSA on the YouTube. That's some of my earlier work. And then I've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. I've put a lot of mixtapes out there. Namely, if you go on Bandcamp, you'll find some of the projects. So Bandcamp is BAND camp, and you put GEEMANSA. You'll see about 3-4 projects on there that I've done. Got a lot of mixtapes that I released on the streets. My original name was G. I haven't been able to drop the G, so I've used different names like G Mansa. I am G around the G because I'm G in it. So like it's always had a G, but I've got different aliases, but I'm still the same person. So I've pushed out like thousands of mixtapes on the streets over the years, and many different people would have come across them and supported my work, and obviously heard of me and heard the music, and I've always had positive feedback because people like, you know, what I do. So, but just in case, just to avoid any confusion, the G is always me. So whether it's GEE, which I've been before as an artist, so it's IMG as in IMG, or it's G Mansa, which is taken from the Mali king Mansa Musa, which was the king that gave out a lot
all
of
the
gold,
wealth.
all his wealth. So
Yeah.
I interpreted that the music is my wealth, that's what I'm giving
correct,
out to
yeah.
the world. Yeah, so that's that. So like, but the music's all the same. It's all from me. Some of it's out there. A lot of stuff's unreleased. I got my hard drive here,
Okay.
just in
Okay.
case you wanted to spin something.
Okay. So about like we're coming out of rehab back into life now. So how had the COVID thing? How had that slowed you down? Because like I said, last time you was in here is probably 2 years, probably a little bit over 2 years ago. Yeah. So in that period of time, 2 years, I mean that's gone by, we'd say, so quickly.
Definitely.
But it kind of put a stop to a lot of people's development or the momentum
Plans
that
and
they
stuff.
had. So all of those plans had been kind of put on hold. Yeah, so in part that's one of the reasons I really wanted to reintroduce you out there to the community, because I mean I always love G. Yeah, because I've utilized it myself. And how I've utilized it, I've said up to no G.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when I say up to no G, G can represent good, or it can represent God. Yeah, but when you say up to now G, it represents both. Yeah, so that's always been my affiliation with yourself and the family campaign. That's why I introduced it to you. Is it a movement? Yeah, because ideally I would love for you to remain on that movement, because unless you remain on that movement, the listeners, they're not going to understand what make your things different. Yeah, it's all a story that connects. Yeah, and with that connections, people can better understand as to why it is that we can support you, because as you've expressed, your music is your wealth. Yeah, your creativity is your wealth, but it's also your expansion and your escape. Yeah, because we don't even really want to know right now how you've been traumatized. Yeah, we want to know as to how you've been able to use your space, your creativity, to come out with my things
Different.
being different. Yeah,
That's the
and
beauty.
again, I mean, you're telling me your son is now 12 years, so boy, where's time's gone? Yeah. Now, yeah. So you've linked up with Ken like myself. We were at this shop outlet. At some stage, we're gonna have a major launch. Yeah. So I'm really glad to link up back with yourself and to be able to promote. Yeah, clearly, I mean, I've been working with you for 30 years on and off. I want to continue to work and to push and to promote as best as possible through this platform, and to help you make your movement become something phenomenal amongst the youths them out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you understand? And even prepared to negotiate, if possible, with management to see if this space is something that we could use through your music, your little network, as to whether we can do something to address some of the issues out there amongst our youngsters.
Right.
You understand? Because these youngsters out there may think that they're traumatized, but they don't know what traumatized would be if they were in your space. Yeah. As to why you say, well, the way to address it is to focus and to use that energy experience to the advantage, because we need it in this time, because our backs are against the wall. So insofar as the music, what would you say as being one of your main what do you say, the track that's really at the appeal that people would have reacted to?
Well, I've got a few.
And what is the message then, maybe in the tracks that you're putting out? What are the messages?
My message, I've always been semi-conscious driven in terms of yeah, my message, because obviously I'm quite a conscious. Life is consciousness, in it, and I felt like growing up I've had to be that kind of way still. So a lot of what I do is more based around that. It's got street elements in it, but it's also got a lot of consciousness, talking about obviously the system and opening our minds and my own personal struggles, what I've been through, what I've had to do, just everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's always been my sort of concept, really, kind of like a Nas kind of vibe. I've been compared to Tupac in certain ways in terms of my message. And yeah, so I've always been on that kind of angle, where trying to enlighten people through the music, as opposed to just, because you can use it in a positive way or a negative way. It's not always going to be positive, because when you're expressing your pain, obviously, pain is pain, innit? So you can't. It's not always going to be like, yeah, hunky dory. But generally, I try to keep it on a level where you can gain something from it, from a lyrical standpoint. That's always been my angle. I'm just naturally a lyricist, so that's always been how I address and approach music.
Okay.
You know.
Right. So what I have to say here, my families, the listeners out there, I have to apologize because I haven't got the means to play. Um, because you say you've got a hard drive. Yeah, and I'm not familiar in order to plug in order to get the response, so that yourself, the listeners, would be able to get an insight as to what G has been doing. And again, as I said previously, the intention as to how the program was planned was that I was going to be here with jammers, and jammers would have helped to facilitate to make sure this is able to take place. So I do accept his apology, but at the same time, it does to a certain extent scupper the plan as was put into place. Yeah, but yeah, I'm just so appreciative of
Might give them a little verse.
well, a cappella.
Yeah, could do. So they
Yeah, well,
they get understanding.
it's totally up to yourself. I mean, I know you gifted me some CD, and I never even brought any because I'm still today. I was outside up on the ladder because the other day it rained, and the water was coming back on the house. Yeah, and I had somebody come and look at it this morning, and what happened is my neighbours had his gutters fixed. Yeah, and they fixed it, and the tilt is now coming in more my direction than his. Well, what they've done is in the middle. They've sorted the gradient for the water to run off and down his gutter, but on my side it's left a bowl which forms a reservoir.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wasn't aware because they've changed their total guttering system because it was metal and now it's all plastic. Yeah, so it probably would have happened whilst I was away.
Okay. It
Yeah,
happens. The maintenance.
Yeah, but I was wondering why is suddenly water is coming into the property, and if it wasn't for the fact that it was brought to my attention today, I would not be any wiser.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. So what I'm saying there is rather than sorting myself was to come here, I was even a little bit late for the studio. Yeah, I just to sort those things out prior to the week commencing. Yeah, so yeah, I'll be happy. Whatever you can do, just to give the listeners just a flavour of what it is that you're about and where your confidence lies. And last night, if when you went Bristol, was it with an intention of performing?
It was more of a promotional thing.
Okay.
For the brand.
Right. So again, you know, well, I know you know, brother Dougie. We've got this event being scheduled for the 23rd and the 24th. One is in Chestnut Park, and the other one in Park View. So obviously, again, if we get things sorted, then we may well be able to get you in the auditorium, giving us a flavour. You also bring some of your CDs, some of your merchandise, so we can make the community aware as to what it is that you're doing. And again, this is what do you say, televised, or it's video, so they can get to see your things and the wristband and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And yeah, we could take it from there. Yeah, so yeah,
So I'll give you a little
just a little flavour, taster.
a little verse, which I ain't recited in a long time. So
Okay, what's this one? We'll introduce it and
this is just like about. It's just a verse about sort of me expressing myself, innit? So it goes something like my poetry's deep like ships in the depths of the sea. My mind daydreams of luxuries and things that gleam. I wake up to real life to perfect my thoughts. I learnt more from the streets than the school I was taught in. I came up, no parents, I grew up as an orphan. Thank God that my mother never had an abortion. A brother from another kept me feeling love from a brother. Learning history divided by colour. See the truth in this flesh. I'm spiritual, so I'm immortal to death. Watch my life flash before me whilst I'm holding my breath. Possessed, I guess I'm either a believer or not. Divine powers, I believe in the God. The Most High is my light. A truth seeker, I live by my pride. No fear in my eyes. I'm wise as I'm studying life. I'm seeing genocide rise caused by the other side, world wars, and leaders that ain't down for the cause. I pause for a second as I analyze the deception. Revolutionary minded, so my pen is my weapon, forever gifted. Born to enlighten spirit, so when your day seems dull, I bring a brighter image. Fight from in, ignite what is light within. Seek truth before the light begins. Born to lose, but strength makes you built to win. Intending good, but knees make it cool to sin. Rules are made to tame systematic slaves. Contracts keep you tied like a shoe that's laced. It's all a game of chess. We're just pawns that play. To foresee with foresight is to kneel and pray. Yeah, I made a little mistake.
For real. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's no mistake, because again, it's a case that you've not been at it, because we're all just coming out of this rehab, coming back into this life. Yeah, so what that is showing me is that you've not been out there on a regular as was the case before. So I'm saying, yeah, so the truth of the matter is you're rusty. Yeah, that's keeping it real. Yeah, you're rusty. You understand? But there's so much I know to yourself, and I've had the pleasure of seeing you grow, from your skills on the field with that speed, and change of directions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm honored again, to have you here with me as we journey, because I look at it sometimes. I said I've reached my peak. I'm on that descent. You understand? But as somebody I've known for the 30 years now, going up to the peak, I'd like for you to reach that peak. You understand? So that your talent can materialize into that monetary, that you can then use it to establish the needs, through the movement that you conceptually put together, and to make it a reality. You understand? Because you've got a young man now, a youth, who's on that verge of making that transition, from 12. He says it's going to be now 13, or is it 11 going to be 12?
No, 12, 13.
12 going to be 13. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm born on the 13th, so he's at that stage where he's going to be making that transition. So, what I'm saying here, family, you the listeners out there, it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, I'm fortunate in that I've been around G for the past 30 years. Yeah, I've been part of his extended family, as well as with the generals, within the community. And I've said the generals are talking about the likes of Stafford, Berkeley, Clasford, and there are many others. Yeah, I'm talking those who are of my generation. Yeah, and we've got the younger one now. Is Graham's greatest asset now is the youth which he has produced. Yeah, and I'm here continuing my commitment. Yeah, to see that we as a community, as a village, as what our good brother Douglas Williams had said, in our unity, as a collective, we can achieve so much, but that collective is an asset that is monetary, even though you could say it's not physical money that you can say, but it's got the ability to generate, and our backs being against the wall. My brother is someone worthy, because he's paid the ultimate sacrifice. We talk about hostile environment now, it's not, it cannot be more hostile than what an innocent, young man would have experienced, So in supporting the movement that my brother is talking about, and I mean this goes out to what you just say, the Windrush generation, and those who are representing the Windrush generation insofar as the hostile environment. This is therefore a movement worthy, to support and back, which the young warrior, G has made mention of. So there is a platform which is here for him, to enable him to do that. Yeah, but with your support, it is achievable. And again, with his network and support within his peer groups. Yeah, because I hope the generals they will forgive me for so saying this. You understand? We're at the age now where we don't have no intention of running. Yeah, because our backs are against the wall. You understand? We not run from nobody. We take a stand. Yeah, but it's when we take a stand, we want to put the young bloods in front of we. You understand? Because we done do that fight there already. Yeah, we've already done that fight. So you must, my listeners out there, I hope that you've been able to gather, because the fact of the matter is I am ill prepared was to accommodate my son, my brother in the studio today, because I never had the technical support in order was to make what would have been an easier task for him to relate, and I did not really want to take him on the journey for him to be explaining who he is and re-te-te-te. Yeah, I will take that up on my shoulder to so do. Yeah, because I've been around him for X amount of years. But what I do know is he's gifted, yeah, he's talented, he's creative, yeah, and what is more important, he is prepared and he's been doing the work, yeah, and he hasn't really come out at any stage. I mean, I'm having to be pulling it out as to who he is, because he know who he is, but oftentimes we need to know who he is as to how he relates, where he's coming from. Yeah, because there is a saying that you don't know where you're going unless you know where you're coming from. Yeah, and he is coming from what we would consider to be an hostile environment. So whenever time you support, and you may well buy one of the merchandise, one of his CDs, or whatever format they put it out now on social media, yeah, the cause is not just for himself or his son, but it's for the movement that's going to enable us to recognize the fact that our backs are against the wall and we need to take a stand as a collective. Yeah, and I'd like also to emphasize, because it's not just a black thing, this is in black and white. Yeah, so for that reason, yeah, let me just play your track whilst I answer this phone.
Lies are often told in silence. Only man can betray his conscience. Every day you hear what I say. The cruelest lies are often told in silence. What's the use of calling a conference anyway? Yeah. Through your lies and deceptions, you came to ill conclusions. Inside your sugar-coated tongue lies a word full of venom. Nothing you shall ever say will we ever give credence. You better back out with your ism and schism. The cruelest lies are often told in silence. Only man can betray his conscience. Every day you hear what I say. The cruelest lies are often told in silence. What's the use of calling a conference anyway? Yeah, the cruelest lies are often told in silence. Only man can betray his conscience. Every day you hear what I say. The cruelest lies are all to call in a conference every day. Hear what I say. Steam me up, baby, baby, baby. Beam me up, lady, lady, lady. Steam me up. Come on and awake me gently. Sweet woman, let me love thee. Let us kindle some light in the darkness in a cycle of love. Steam me up, baby, baby, baby. Beam me up, lady, lady, lady. See me up. Please, woman, awake me gently. Let me steal your morning coffee. Under the covers and the world turns, another life is earned. I wouldn't change it for the world. She makes me feel like the Duke of Earl. Now she's grown and spread her wings for the gift of life. I try to do it right. Here comes another beating heart. And we watch as she grows and she grows. Then from us she depart. Steam me up, baby, baby, baby. Beam me up, lady, lady, lady. See me up. Now the time has come, and the cycle must go on. As she's rewarded with the gift of life with the third generation. I wouldn't change her for the world. She makes me feel like the Duke of Earl. Now she's grown and to spread her wings for the gift.
Yes, family, my apology again. I was just again on the phone. It wasn't a direct call to the studio, so it wasn't for your ears. Yeah. Yeah, it's just some business outside of the business. Yeah, so my apology for that, G. Bit of a distraction, but nonetheless, again, apology to you, my listeners out there. But yeah, my time is up, really, you know. But I hadn't even really settled in this afternoon. I was somewhat thrown, you know. But do bear with me. I mean, it's 6 o'clock, so in truth, my family, you're supposed to have had your dinner, you know, to enable you to have it digested, and for our young future youth, yeah, to do what they need to do, which might well be their homework, you know. But I shared a conversation, I think, with yourselves last year, and you know where I have to hold my hands up, and I think I kind of made mention of the fact that my generation now, we are not young bones, you know. So the young man sitting opposite me is the now and the future. Yeah, as an elder now, I'm more heading towards the past, more so. And I'm not saying that as if I have surrendered. I'm just looking at the reality of life, yeah, and where we are as a community, insofar as our responsibility, insofar as achieving what is to be unity amongst ourselves, yeah, because we tend to point the finger and put the blame over on them, you know, saying whether it's white supremacy or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that we've become cowards to a certain extent, yeah, and that's why I have to support what Garvey said. Our back, we're not gonna know ourselves until our back's against the wall. You understand? So when your back is against the wall, you know, and they threaten you, whether they threaten you or not, it then becomes by any means necessary. You understand? Because life is precious. Yeah, and we can't at any time give up the good fight. Yeah, yeah, and to God we have to give the glory at all times, but at the same time we need to connect with our spirituality. We need to know as to who we are. Yeah, and what we represent, yeah, and what it is that we have to do in our allotted time to address the issues which are in front of us. Presently, it's like there's a glitter of hope, because we know there's diamonds, we know there's cobalt, we know that all of these precious things that Western society gravitate towards or for, we know that we have it, yeah. But why is it that we can't control it? Yeah, is it necessary for us to have 6 cars parked around a back, a helicopter, a jet plane? Yeah, when we cannot walk down the road and hold our head up and have pride in who we are. Yeah, what's the sense of that? You know. So as we bring things to a close, my family, I have to love you. I have to leave you. I can only again make the apology. And one of the other things I need to do, because on everything there is a need for balance. Yeah. So I've had a conversation with my one of my family insofar as how we're going to move ourselves forward. So we need to have some female energy insofar as the direction as to how we're going to be rolling or going to be moving ourselves forward. Yeah. So for those of you who had given up your time was to listening in today, I give thanks for you so doing. I know that I would not have caused you to burn up your food, for the simple reason that I keep reminding you of that. But I would like to say that insofar as my sister, our warrior queen out there, I'd like to leave my thoughts, my energy, my spirit, my love towards yourselves and your family, for a speedy recovery, yeah, so that come your birthday, which I know is latter part of this year, that there will be more joy, yeah, for yourself and the family and for us as a community, because we are mindful of those of us who are on the front line, the risk to which we put ourselves. You understand? But it's not how long we live, it's what we do in our time. Yeah, so we're not fearful of that, because we know there is no death, there's just regeneration. You understand? So this fear that they try to impact on us, it's just a buckle with that. Yeah, we because as one seed drop, another seed it grows. You see what I'm saying? So the fret not yourself on those stupid little things. Yeah. So I would like, and it's been given to me as a responsibility, that I've got these books that I would like for you to win for the future. I hadn't even got round to testing this phone, so let me at least do that and see what actually transpires, because oftentimes, the phone line, people do ring and I don't even know, for the simple reason that I had not tested to see what that. Okay, right, so I have tested the phone, so now I can say that the phone line did not ring. So I have to improve up on how it is I'm going to get you, the listeners out there, to respond and to engage. Yeah, because unless you respond and engage with me, then the show is going to be meaningless. No. Let me retract on that, because oftentimes people need to be prompted to know what the subject matter is, so that you can prepare yourself. But that isn't the way war goes. We are at war, so we need to engage. Yeah, we need to be ever ready. Yeah, irrespectful of whatever. If it's even just to have a conversation and the subject. And again, I made mention of the books. So again, if I'm lapsing, you can phone in and say, what do you need to win a book or a T-shirt? And that in itself might prompt me to just give you a T-shirt because it has reminded me that I hadn't done my homework and what I needed to have been done. Okay, so for you, my listeners out there, I wish you God's good speed, energy for this week, and I just need to then read for you the word from the good, or the words of good, which is going to take you further into the week. We last touched on put one's private capital into use. Yeah, for myself. Okay, right. Put one's private capital into use. Now, I'm now turning on to. It's going to be page 7. No, page 8. Words of Good. Volume 2, page 8. 1 8. Yeah? Now, the word says, wealth is acquired by hard labor. It is necessary to manifest and additionally effort and additional effort by using invested capital. Now let me go through that again. Wealth is acquired by hard work. It is necessary to manifest an additional effort by using invested capital. Okay. Now, invested capital is not always necessarily monetary. Yeah, it's not always monetary, but in this day and age it is. Yeah, so it is in your interest, therefore, to have some money which you can utilize as a risk factor to show your commitment. So I'll take it that's what that is to a certain extent saying. You need to use invested capital in order to get a good and proper return. Yeah. So thank you for investing your time, which wasn't costing you of money, but nonetheless, you could have earned something, some would say, if they had utilized that time differently. Yeah. So my family, if I can just be loving you and leaving you, and until next week, and we will follow up further. And for you, the listeners who are out there in the diaspora and the wider community, Godspeed to you. I hope that you will find some peace and mind within your community. For those of you out there in Jamaica, I strongly would advise that you look as to where it is that we are coming from, where it is that we are at now, and how does it reflect on us in the wider world compared to where we were before. Yeah, before this, you have to say this administration came into being. And when I say this administration, it goes for both parties. Yeah, it seems that around the world we've all lost the plot. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, the whole world is now in trouble. Yeah, and our lives are not getting any easier. Okay, so I wish yourselves well, and for those young people who are going to be embarking on school next week, please, yeah, let's throw away the what do you say, the attitude that provokes us or your peer groups to violence. Yeah, let's next week be a milestone. And insofar as the activities taking place next week, Yeah, there are so many which are out there that are worthy of mentioning, but let me at least go out with the one to which um, I had been sent. I think it was a audio. If I can find it, maybe I can play that just for you. Let's see, which is this one. Let's see if I can give you this one.
Africa Bantu Saturday School presents their annual Unity Pan-African Sports and Cultural Day in synergy and association with Pan-African community groups and schools. Saturday, 9th of July, Battersea Millennium Arena Track, Battersea Park, SW11 4NJ. A fun day for all the family. Make a team of family and your friends or attend individually to be added to a team. £2 entry for medal events. So be the best you can be and join in. 10:30am to 5pm sharp. Call 07956 166 645 to register your teams in advance or for stalls and more info. This is a fundraising event for Saturday schools. All donations welcome. Refreshments available. Community building and nothing else matters.
That's right, community building and nothing else matters right now. So where we can lend our support, then please let us so do. Insofar as the t-shirts, caps, books, all of those things can be had from our well, we've got a shop which we open to have a launch opening in the course of the next 2 weeks or so. That's in Palmer's Green. Other than that, as you heard G had mentioned, somewhere else over, where was it, Leighton?
Palmer's Green and Stratford.
And Stratford. Yeah, so we'll keep you posted and updated. Yeah, but as you gather, my family, we're still familiarizing ourselves within the studio. So eventually all will be well. So yeah, to my family over there in Jamdown, we've got Rasta John up there in, oh man, I think it's a long time since I've been out there, innit? Yeah. The Dread up in the hills, the driver, yeah, we've got, what do you say, Nanko, Nardell. Hey, Nardell, what going on with my drums? Well, I can't say it's my drums still. I hope you did fix the drum and you play it right now, yeah? Yeah, so, yeah, to you, my family, up in the hills, yeah, manners, love, and respect. Yeah, so let me just find a track that we can play out on. Okay.
What you doing to me, girl? I was blind.
Yes, until next week, my family.
Won't you send
One good.
you try to break my heart? You do the trick, girl. You gotta be smart. You got a heart that you made of stone. I pity you don't know my flesh and bone. But can't you see what you doing to me? I say, girl, I am blind. Won't you, babe, let me tickle my heart? You shadow my brain. You conscience ain't fair shame. Don't love me, try to break my heart. You do such a trick. You gotta be smart. Can't you see what you doing to me? I say, girl, I am blind.
Let's not be blind out there. Let's not be deaf out there either. And please, next week, find your voices, because we will be back. Enjoy your week, my family. Blessed love. To God be the glory.
You see